most of you are writers, and you all know that your book is destined for the New York Times bestseller list. And you want to make it happen, even if you don't have an agent or a big league publisher. And you're going it alone, and you want to self-publish. Now, as you know, the publishing industry has changed, and so have your choices. No segment of the publishing industry has matured and evolved more than self-publishing. But be warned, it can be a real Wild West out there. There was a time, and most of you know this, when self-publishing was vanity publishing. Not anymore. Today, there are self-published authors who have made their books onto the bestseller list. The book The Martian was self-published and is a great movie, so hang in there. Fiction and non-fiction have made it. Now, warning number 2. There's also an ocean of unknown authors who only manage to sell books to their uncles, their aunts, their stepkids, their ex-husbands, and you know who they are because if you go to their garage, you will see boxes of unopened books. Now, you know, this is an original thing, going to self-publishing, and so is, and I don't want to jump, as I say, I normally talk off the top of my head, and I should go to the fact that the other pluses of self-publishing I discovered. The good is that you keep most of the royalties. I mean, some of you who were here earlier today realized and discovered that the big publishers give you, wow, 6 to 12% of your royalties. If you self-publish, you can keep the whole enchilada. That's a good one. Now, there's also a public, when you publish with a big publisher, a contract that you sign that limits your royalties. It takes control of your book. If somebody comes to you from Hollywood and wants to make a movie, you better check with the big-time publisher. And the other thing that I should warn you about, which fits into the bad and the ugly category, is the pain in the you-know-where of charging sales tax when you sell a book. Now, honestly, you're a writer, you're not a bleeding accountant, are you? And most writers, as I'm sure you will attest in this room, are lousy accountants. That's why we have accountants. But if you self-publish, you have to be an accountant. Now, back to the good again. Now, you have great control of your book. Very important. It's near and dear, it's your baby, it's your child. And so you're able to, if you self-publish, to hire your own designer. And when you go with a big-time publisher, they want to cut chapters. And who wants to cut chapters? You've sweated. Or maybe you haven't sweated, you've toiled. And somebody wants to cut your chapters. Forget it. That's the big-time publisher. They have control. And when you've done that, and when you've agreed to go with a big-time publisher and you're out there, after 2 or 3 months, if they discover that you are no longer a bestseller candidate, they kiss you goodbye. They dump you. So, whereas you can continue and spend your own life savings promoting your book. Anyway, that's... Now, the other important thing about self-publishing, and I'm sure everybody knows this since it's so bloody basic, but I'm going to say it again, is make sure you have a great designer and make sure you have a terrific editor. Now, I happen to have my editor, Rena Sherman, in the front row. I'd like her to take a bow because she kept me out of trouble. Thank you, Rena. Bad spelling. terrible fact-checking. She did it all. Because let me tell you, if you self-publish a book and there are errors there, your credibility nosedives. So remember that. Good editors are important. So, the designer we've talked about, and you want to also publish a book that does not reverberate with amateurism. And because if you self-publish, you think that it's going to be a shoddy job, and it should not be. So pay attention. You've written it, you've got the cover done, make sure the words are correct. And now I'm not quite finished, but almost. Sorry about that. To successfully sell books, you have to master the art of self-promotion. You have to get up in front of a room of complete strangers who are falling asleep because you're putting them to sleep, and you have to talk about your book, and you have to want them to go out and buy the book. So that's important to self-promote. You cannot be a shadow. You cannot be a shrinking violet. I mean, it helps if you're an actress, right? It helps. Because actresses, they project